Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. PNP and JLP leaders cast ballots. Security deployed amid allegations of voter intimidation. And TVJ News brings in-depth reports from voting locations across the island. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carrie Simpson. Now the details. We begin with Romardo Lyons, who spoke with JLP leader Andrew Holness. That's Dr. Andrew Holness. Dr. Holness cast his ballot earlier this morning. Romardo, how has it been going so far?
So as you heard earlier, I spoke with opposition leader Mark Golding, and he's very confident about the potential outcome of this general election. Well, so too is Dr. Andrew Holness, leader of the Jamaica Labour Party. He showed up moments ago here in St. Andrew Eastern to cast his vote right here at Mona High School. Now, this constituency is being contested by the JLP's Favour Williams, the PNP's Patricia Duncan Sutherland, and Carl Cargill from the JPP. I spoke with Mr. Holness after he cast his vote, and this is what he had to say. Dr. Holness, Romardo TVJ, the latest Don Anderson poll shows the opposition ahead. He contends that his predictions have been
come on.
accurate.
Don Anderson predicted in 2007, 2011. He predicted in 2016, and he predicted in 2020. Come on. You know, I'm not going to discredit any poll. Let me say that. But I don't listen to Don Anderson's poll.
This campaign trail has been clouded with talks of corruption. Do you think that will affect how some Jamaicans vote?
Without question. I mean, there are Jamaicans who will listen to the headline and not necessarily read the story. So that's something that we factor in. I think the challenge with corruption in Jamaica is that it has focused heavily on the name and shame and using bureaucracy to try to prevent corruption. I think there's another model, which is a model that actually works. And I've said it before, I say it again. Efficient systems can't be corrupted. So if you're trying to deal with corruption, you have to make systems efficient. And to make systems efficient, you want quick delivery of results, you want systems that are integrated, you want transparency, and you want a fair process of adjudication. So we are looking to, as we have announced, our speed program and increasing the efficiency of our public bureaucracy. And I think that is where you're going to get the greatest gains against corruption.
What I've observed at polling stations in both constituencies is people strolling in here and there. A lot of people who we spoke to said that they wanted to come out as early as possible, head to the polling stations, cast their votes, and head back home before the crowd.
I got here a little after 7. There was no movement. I think because of some new arrangements. But after that, things started to move and everybody cooled down. There was a whole lot of chatting, People were wondering why we have to wait so long and all of that. But everything is going fine there now. And I'm happy I voted.
Send a message to people at home who are undecided. They don't know if they want to vote. They don't know if they're going to do it. What would you say to those people?
I tell them to come, because it's peaceful. There's a whole lot of security people here. And everybody seems to be engaged. There no violence. So come. You vote and go home.
Now, the presence of the security forces, as you can see behind me, is very noticeable. And I've seen representatives from the Jamaica Defence Force, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, even some officers from MOCA. Now, I'll continue to monitor the situation in both constituencies and provide updates.
Now to opposition leader Mark Golding. He was in St. Andrew Northeastern earlier. Mr. Golding addressed an issue that has been plaguing elections in recent years after he voted.
There's often concern about the number of youth showing up at polls to vote. Are you satisfied with your party's efforts to appeal to youth this election?
Listen, one can always do better, but we have done a fair amount. It's been an issue of concern to us as well. So that is why, as leader of the party, I implemented an innovation by appointing a junior shadow cabinet drawn from young people in their 20s, early 30s, from the PNP Youth Organization and the Patriots, which is our young professional arm. And that has given exposure to the members of the Junior Shadow Cabinet to speak on national issues and to raise the profile of the party among the youth, to show them that we are a party that respects young people and feels that their voice is important and that they should be given opportunities to be heard. We've also had 2 youth rallies specific to young people during this campaign, and those were very well attended, very full of energy and went very well. And on all of our major rallies as well, we have at least 2 persons who speak for young people, 2 young people. And we have a lot of young candidates who are very attractive candidates and can speak eloquently and have been speaking eloquently. So I think, for those who follow the politics, they will see the efforts that we have made. The challenge is, of course, that many young people are just not at all interested in public affairs. And I think that's symptomatic of the world as a whole. That's not a Jamaica thing. And I think it's to do with the way in which communication and information is shared nowadays and the sheer volume of things that people have access to. But, we are doing what we can because we do see it as an important issue.
And in the past 2 elections, we saw voter turnout dwindling. Is that a concern for the People's National Party?
Well, we would like to see a high turnout. For one, I think a high turnout favors the opposition party in an election. 2020 was an aberration because it was during the COVID period. And indeed, it resulted in community spread occurring almost immediately after election day was announced. So that was an unusual situation. I don't think we can really give it too much statistical importance when it comes to voter turnout. But the polls have indicated an expectation that the turnout this time will be significantly higher than that.
We now turn our attention to central Kingston, where Halshane Burke is standing by with the latest on the voting activity. Halshane?
We are here in the central Kingston constituency, where the People's National Party's Steve McGregor is going up against the Jamaica Labour Party's Donovan Williams. We also have the UIC's Garth Barnett, who is contesting the seat. Now, the polling stations opened on time for the most part in the areas that we have visited. We have been seeing the feature of long lines, and let me tell you, the sun has been scorching. Persons have been in the lines for upwards of 40 minutes, but they are not daunted. Supporters of both major political parties say they are jubilant, they are expectant, and they are going to stick the course until the end. They are expecting that their candidate will emerge the victor at the end of the day. Now, we have noticed that members of the security forces are all around, dotting the constituency, keeping a keen eye on what is happening today. And so far, they are saying that it has all been peaceful. Right around the sound of vuvuzela, the sound of music, that has been punctuating the constituency, because everyone in the constituency is expecting that their candidate will emerge victor when the last ballot is counted.
Thank you, Halshane. Now, Shamela Pullen now gives us an update on what's happening in St. Anne.
All polling stations across the parish of St. Anne opened promptly at 7 a.m. this morning. Voters were seen gathering as early as 6 a.m., determined to cast their ballots in this highly anticipated general election. St. Anne, which is divided into 4 constituencies, is expected to play a pivotal role in the national outcome. All eyes are especially on Northwest St. Anne, where People's National Party General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell, now the candidate in Eastern Westmoreland, was the MP from 2011 to 2020. Dr. Campbell cast his vote earlier in the constituency and expressed optimism about his PNP counterpart's chances of retaining the seat.
You couldn't tell much from what has taken place so far this morning, but just based on the preparation that we've had. This is a constituency that we've won more times than we've lost. We have ensured that we've gone out there and that we've re-energized and re-engaged the members of the party, and they are enthused, they are excited. The level of excitement among the PNP supporters now is currently very high. And those persons who are in the middle, quite a few of them have seen some things that they personally want to vote for. Persons find attractive the $3.5 million tax threshold, which will free up an additional $35,000 for over 200,000 persons.
Challenging the seat are Crystal Lee of the Jamaica Labour Party and Gabriela Morris representing the PNP. Ms. Lee is aiming to reclaim the seat for her party. JLP supporters also expressed strong confidence, stating that the ground response has been positive and they are hopeful of a favourable outcome.
Crystal is one of the hardest working member of parliament right about now in Northwest St. Ann, and I know with the work and the achievement that Crystal have done over the past 4 years, she have no reason to not take this one home.
The one main achievement.
If you look from the Brownstone Road coming down, over the years that road in deplorable condition, and a one-term MP come, and if you realize even from Coolies is going back to Brownstone, we did well and we have more to do.
Voting will continue throughout the day with polls expected to close at 5 p.m.
To be frank, in that I am not a public speaker in the political arena. I am no party politics person. I vote my franchise and my vote is private.
Electoral officials have so far reported a smooth start to the day with no major incidents or delays. Shamila Pullen, TVJ News.
And now to Southeast St. Mary, where O'Shane Masters is standing by with the latest on voting activity. O'Shane, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Kerry. Now, I'm here at the Anotobe Primary and Infant School, where it's a buzz of activity for both the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party. We have not seen much persons for the Jamaica Progressive Party, JPP, which is the other party running in this constituency. Now, on the JLP side, we have Dr. Norman Dunn. He is the incumbent. Now, he defeated the PNP's Dr. Shane Alexis in 2020. That was the election in the COVID-19 era. Now, that battle was known as the Battle of the Doctors. Now, Dr. Dunn is facing a new challenger in the person of Chris Brown of the People's National Party. Now, with a very vibrant lead up to this election, both parties are anticipating increased voter turnout and believe that the messaging of the respective parties has wooed their base. Now, in terms of activity at the polling divisions in Southeast St. Mary, things got off to a relatively smooth start, but some constituents complained of protracted wait times in the lines. Now, the newly formed Jamaica Progressive Party, as I mentioned earlier, is also fielding a candidate in that constituency. He is Mark Hutchinson. Now, in speaking with him earlier today at the Gibbs Hill Church of God, he said he believes the message of the party has resonated with its base. Now, let's go over to Western St. Mary. Things are also progressing smoothly. That seat is being contested by the JLP's Robert Montague, who is the incumbent. The PNP's Omar Woodbine and the UIC's Chase Neal are the other candidates in that constituency. Now, at a glance, that area has 5 divisions, namely Karen Hall, Retreat, Gale, Oracabessa, and Boscobel. 3 of those divisions are strongholds for the People's National Party. Now, it is left to be seen whether the party will mobilize their base to come out and vote in this September 3 election. And the same for the JLP, who has strongholds in 2 of those divisions. Now, it's left to be seen what the electorate will decide at the close of polls today. And remember, polls close at 5 p.m. But if you're in the line, you still have the chance, before 5 o'clock, you still have the chance to cast your vote. For now, I'm O'Shane Masters reporting from the Anotobe Primary and Infant School in Southeast St. Mary for TVJ News.
Thank you, O'Shane, and it's now time for a break, but stay with us. More Election Day activities when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Continuing our coverage on Election Day activities, we head over to Westmoreland to join our reporter Kimberly Petty, who has been covering the day's activities. Kimberly, what can you tell us?
I am here in Eastern Westmoreland for the Election Day activities. Now here at the Colonial Infant School, if you look behind me, there's a long queue, but an even longer wait time. And the elderly persons have been complaining that they have to be waiting for extended hours, which is causing a lot of stress on their feet.
We can't stand up no longer. I see the citizens, so I can't stand up no longer.
How you feel to know that the process is tedious?
We have to live with it. We can't do nothing about it, you know.
The JLP's Daniel Lawrence is expected to vote here. He was slated to vote at 8 a.m., but he's not here as yet. Now, there are 6 names on the ballot to include Lawrence and the PNP's Dr. Dayton Campbell, but he already voted over in St. Anne. We spoke to one voter who told us because he was so excited, he got up from about 1 a.m.
The man who put through me now are my boss. The poor God I king.
I will continue to bring you the news over here in Eastern Westmoreland, as well as Western Westmoreland and Central Westmoreland. Stay tuned. Reporting for TVJ News, I am Kimberly Petty.
Now in Western Hanover, the security forces had to be called in following reports of alleged voter intimidation. Our reporter Anthony Logg is there. Anthony?
Thank you. So I'm currently in the town of Lucy here in Western Hanover, and it's 32 degrees here. Now, the political temperature is heating up here in the Western Hanover, where the JLP's Tamika Davis will be going up against Heather Miller Bennett from the People's National Party. Now, things got off to a smooth start. However, we've gotten some reports that there have been reports of alleged voter intimidation. We spoke with JLP's General Secretary, Dr. Horace Chang, who provided some details moments earlier.
There are 1 or 2 reports of the field that there are alleged voter intimidation. I think the secretaries have responded well and candidates have responded well. More mischief than organized structure. We are back a rider one puncture a couple of tires, or there's allegation of us too slow processing some station. They think it's deliberate. But those are small things that we believe able to iron out all of those.
Now, the Hanover Western constituency consists of 4 divisions: the Lucy Division, Caldwell Division, Green Island, and the Riverside Division. Now, the People's National Party will be looking to pull out all their supporters from areas like Green Island as well as the Caldwell Division. Now, the Jamaica Labour Party will be placing a lot of focus on the Riverside Division as well as the Lucy Division. But the PNP's Heather Miller says the party is looking to build on its performance that was made in the local government elections last year.
I'm telling you categorically that today, Riverside Division, Lucy Division, Green Island Division, Caldwell Division, we're winning all 4 just as we did in the local government election. It will be a clean sweep right across the constituency.
Now, the incumbent, Tamika Davis, sees things differently. This is what she had to say.
And what the local government elections did for us was highlight some of the areas that we were short. So we have addressed those, we have fixed those issues. And today we're just saying to Western Hanover, come out, vote for the Jamaica Labour Party, the party that has displayed performance over promise.
Now, we will be here on the ground in Western Hanover as well as Eastern Hanover, and will be monitoring the situation here on the ground and provide details a little later on. It's back to you in studio.
And we take another break, but stick around, more Election Day activities. Welcome back. We now join Christopher Scott in Kintyre East Rural St. Andrew.
Thank you so much. I'm here at the Kintyre Postal Agency in Kintyre District. This constituency is East Rural St. Andrew. Member of Parliament, the Jamaica Labour Party's Juliet Holness. Now, she is being challenged by People's National Party Patrick Peterkin, attorney at law. She's had this constituency since 2016. If Mr. Peterkin were to win the seat, this will be the first time since Damien Crawford back in 2011 that a People's National Party member held this seat as the Member of Parliament. But Juliet Holness will be fighting strong. There's a lot of persons here. Pandemonium, but confusion, and as you can hear, a lot of noise.
This never happened. This has never happened. Everybody cooperate and go in. And I have been here from 7 o'clock this morning, and now it's what, 11 after 11, and I still don't go in.
the security forces are trying to calm the crowd in order for a peaceful and more organized voting process. But there are a lot of people here. Some people are here from 7 o'clock this morning and still have not been able to vote, but they're waiting. The decision rests with the voters. If you don't vote, you don't have a chance. Will Gillette Holness win this seat for a third straight term, or will Patrick Peterkin upseat Gillette Holness and get back East Rural St. Andrew to the PNP for the first time since 2011? We'll just have to find out. I'm Christopher Scott. It's back to you in studios.
Thank you, Christopher. We now go to St. Catherine Southeastern, where our reporter Raquel Porter is there.
Thanks, Karen. I'm coming to you from the Lions Club of Portmore, where the People's National Party Dr. Alfred Dawes has voted. After waiting in the line for about 30 minutes, Dr. Dawes voted around 9:47.
And I just cast my ballot for myself. A surreal feeling. But it's been a long journey. But where I am right now, I think that the process has molded me into being a better representative, having been with the people, gone through some struggles, and it was really the people who were there for me. And right now, that has created a debt from me to them, and it means that I must serve.
But the question here today is, can the Jamaica Labour Party's Robert Miller return to Garden House? Dr. Dawes said he can reclaim the seat.
I'm very confident. They're putting a lot of work. The team is excellent. They're very organized. They're out there. They're getting out the votes. And based on our numbers or estimates or canvas, we should take home the seat comfortably. We're going to overturn a 1,000 odd vote deficit from the last election, and we're going to win by a good margin.
Mr. Miller is expected to cast his vote at Cumberland High School at around 1 o'clock. Until then, back to you in studio.
Thanks, Raquel. Now, continuing the news, the Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections Cafe says its preliminary reports point to a smooth start to today's general election. The group has deployed 32 roving observers and 470 indoor observers across the island. Between 9 and 11 this morning, reports from these observers indicate that 94% of polling stations opened on time at 7 a.m., while 97% had all the necessary materials in place. CAFE noted that only about 7% of polling stations experienced any disruption, and these were described as minor. Just 2% of observers reported disorderly conduct. In 96% of stations, voters who were properly identified were allowed to cast their ballots. CAFE says it will investigate the reasons for any denials. The group also reported that some of its observers initially faced difficulties entering polling stations, but these issues were quickly resolved in collaboration with the Electoral Office of Jamaica. And here's what we have in the health report coming up this evening.
In this evening's health report, we look at politics and stress.
Politicians need to be sure that they have time to rest, have time to sleep, and sometimes even 5 minutes. 5 minutes of being quiet, taking time by themselves can reset their mind and help them to get more energy. Making sure that they have a little sleep. And when they are quiet, they need a little bit of quiet time, get away from the crowd sometime. Deep breathing exercise.
That's the health report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's healthy living tip. Prioritize mental health, establish support system, practice time management, limit alcohol intake, exercise, and rest.
And that's the midday news package. I'm Carrie-Ann Simpson. Stay around for our youth panel discussion at 1:10 and primetime news this evening at around 4:30. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good evening, good afternoon.